They look like they're from the same gang of villains in a movie.
Yeah, they look like they should be fighting wearing jeans.
They're fighting for the presidency of the worst motorcycle club you've ever heard of.
Good sharp punches. Good sharp punches from Michael Froeschle. Froeschle? Haag leaping in. A little wild, a little uncontrolled. I think maybe he felt like that the punching was going to be a little crisper from Michael. And good hard low kick from Haag, and then just a high tight guard. Haag a bit of a brawler, kind of wading forward, hands up high, and low kicks, and then just blocking the punches.
Not a lot of intelligent defense so far, but he's at least fighting back when he's getting hit. It's a big difference between last fight and this fight.
Maybe a more flattering way to put it would be not a dynamic defense.
yeah, dynamic. Yeah, it's true.
He ain't getting hurt, so we can't say it's wrong yet.
Froeschle is doing a good job of getting around the guard. The guard is static, the head is static. They're always in the same place. So nice shot from Haag.
But with a fighter like Haag, who's a little bit brawly, Froeschle might miscalculate, and get a little too comfortable standing in front of him. And Haag has yet to really throw a punch with a lot of conviction. Oh, there we go. There it is. I kind of suspected that he was hanging on to a right hand.
Well, that Pura Vida quarter's been calling for that low kick the entire fight. Yeah. And he finally threw one, which set up that shot.
And there's that right hand again. I think Haag's being sparing with the right hands because he believes that that's going to be his route out of this, because Michael Froeschle is clearly a more technical fighter, but Haag has some heavy hands, because that was a light punch, and you see that Michael Froeschle doesn't like it. Enough kicks. Haag's added up enough kicks that he can start letting the hands go. Hard low kick. Yeah, Haag possesses power. Haag possesses a significant amount of power because it doesn't look like he's trying very hard. And these punches and kicks are having a significant impact.
He's being significantly more energy efficient, if you can call it that. Like he's just lower volume. And
he's investing in that leg.
Yeah, he is.
Look at it. Look at the redness on the outside of the lead leg of Michael Froeschle.
He's starting to listen to his corner, because his corner's been asking for that all night. His corner's been asking him to throw that in at the end of every combination. And they seem to know that that's a weapon for him.
It's a very smart choice, because I don't think he was going to beat him in the punching exchanges. Michael Froeschle has a reach advantage, and he's significantly crisper with his punching. The low kicks, he added them up, and that outside of that lead leg on Michael Froeschle is turning pink. I have my contacts in today, so I can actually see stuff.
Froeschle out of that battle-born corner. Definitely a corner more well-known for, Kelly Knudsen. He's a phenomenal MMA grappler, but he's just a great fight coach. Every time I see him in a locker room, every time I see him in a corner, he's always saying the right things and doing the right things I'm looking for as a coach, to let you know, like, not only are you taking care of your athletes, but you're able to get them into that headspace of it's time for war, it's time for a fight.
The psychological side of it, as well as the physical side.
Yeah, and he's a very intimidating man in his own right, so I'm sure it's easy to get ready for a war when you got a guy like that pep talking you.
Big body kick from Haag. Telegraphed it, and it still landed.
And we see Froeschle really getting aggressive, really just pouring it on here.
Ooh, good hard low kick from Haag, and another.
It's hard when you're against the fence to throw a leg kick with some really solid impact, and that one sounded solid.
No, Nicholas Haag hits hard.
He's got a good low kick for sure.
Good frame to a right hand.
And I wish, that's the one thing about Haag that I think I would change about his style, is I would make him use that length a little more. Like, he needs to get behind a post, get behind a jab, and maximize the reach that he has.
Ooh, there's the right hand.
He fights like a guy who doesn't know he's tall.
Well, and it rocks him with the right hand.
That was a big shot.
Thudding. Yeah, Haag is on a game plan. Haag clearly has a specific strategy, and he has stuck to it.
There's a strange looseness to his style as well that I think is very misleading. Makes you think that he's done, that he's tired, and then he comes out of nowhere with a big hit.
Yeah. Reaching out and swatting him with the right hand a little bit. Michael Froeschle, Chris with the strikes. Big knee.
I will say Haag's had a way better round, but it's been Froeschle who's been going forward and creating the action. And sometimes in kickboxing, it seems like to these judges that is enough. But I do think Haag's landed more.
It depends on their background, how they view cage control.
Every state is a little different.
Yeah, and the individual judge, if he has a karate background, he's going to value it very much.
Froeschle's doing some big headshots here, though, that I think could solidify, if it, like leg damage versus head damage. That's a big kick from Haag.
Yeah.
Like that looks it looks so weird, but then he hits you really hard.
So I see what you're talking about, and that's an old guy thing. I don't know how old Haag is, but that's an old guy thing. You get smart, and then you realize it doesn't actually matter.
Oh, big shot from him too.
You know, if I can use the cage to stay up a little bit, I can bounce off of it.
He fights like a guy fresh out of prison. he is a brawler through and through.
Well, as an old guy myself, I very often hang out over near the wall in the cage so that I can like just let myself fall into it, so I don't have to keep myself up.
Yeah, and he's also just like usually striking while not based, and I don't mean that how your son would say it. I mean it's like not on a very stable footing position, so any little errant move is enough to kind of like make him walk backwards or even fall into the cage.
Yeah, he doesn't put his hips.
Drunken master.
Well, when he puts the linear kicks, the side kicks, and the teep kicks out there, he doesn't have his hips in front of his basing foot, which that causes him to go backwards instead of causing his opponent to go backwards. You still can get a significant amount of impact, and it's not necessarily wrong to push yourself away with a kick.
Yes.
It's not necessarily wrong. If your purpose is to damage and move them, it's not going to work that way. But if your purpose is to hit them and you move and you're fine with that, it's workable. I think Haag is. I think if this has all been intentional, then Haag is going to come out.
His best round.
He's going to go. He's going to turn it up.
Yeah. If this has been a plan, the plan needs to be executed right now.
We should look. He should look for a head kick in my humble opinion.
And Froeschle bringing the aggression once again.
Haag's corner telling him to get off the wall. Low kicks again. Oh, nice teep found the rib cage of Froeschle, and that's what actually, if you missed it at home, you notice Froeschle took a couple steps back there. The toes of Haag's left foot went right up under the rib cage.
Oh yeah, really dig.
Ooh, simultaneous low kicks. Haag's unbothered by the punches.
Yeah, but they're
still points.
They're landing.
Ooh, good crisp right hand.
That is probably one of the harder ones so far. It's just like, you know, what are the optics of the fight? And it's hard to say for me what the optics of the last round were. So I think there needs to be a little bit more definitive action from either guy, and that's not what you want to see when you got a minute and 15 left and you're getting hit in the body by a big old boy in there.
There it is. There's the overhand right that he's looking for. Again, that teep. Yeah, Haag fights like a very efficient guy. This is one of those situations where it might be that Michael Froeschle is going to win, win the fight. Nicholas Haag maybe Michael Froeschle is going to win the match, and Nicholas Haag is going to win the fight. But the judges are judging a match.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true.
I know I'm being a little neurotic, and
I know exactly what you mean though, because it's almost like if they were locked into a pit and only one of them was going to leave, we kind of
I think it would be Haag.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it would
feel a little differently, right?
Yeah.
Oof, Froeschle gets hit big there. But he's just always aggressive. This guy's going to be great.
Froeschle is hanging on him, weighing on him. Now he's dirty boxing him.
He trains up a big-time MMA agent.
Haag has lost a lot of steam off of those kicks, and Michael Froeschle smells blood, and he's pouring it on, but not overcommitting, being very smart. And again,
last 10 seconds of the fight, home stretch, and the optics so far are a one-side. Oh, Haag just is so good at just finding those little shots, but it looks like the very end will be a stalemated clinch with both guys throwing. It's a good fight.
Froeschle very good with the knees in the clinch, very good with the good straight boxing.
So I think Froeschle trained out of Battleborn, if he does have that interest of going into MMA, he responds to damage in a way like an MMA fighter would, which is go forward, clinch up, go forward, crowd him. I think, he has good reactions.
His footwork, Froeschle's footwork there and keeping Haag on the cage that we just saw was excellent.
Yeah, I do think he had all 3 rounds too.
Yeah, he cut the cage, he kept Haag on the cage. I don't think Haag fought very hard to get off of it, but Froeschle did everything that you're supposed to do and managed to not eat too many big right hands, which it seems like that was going to be, if Haag won the fight, that was how he was going to do it.
Yeah, and the low kicks. There was a lot of investment in the low kicks, but they kind of went away in the 3rd round, maybe because Froeschle just kept himself too close. That is a strategy a lot of people have employed against Edson Barbosa, is to just keep going forward, so he can't really get a lot of power on that leg kick. He has to throw it quick. I saw Froeschle coming forward a lot in the 2nd and 3rd round.
Very smart fight by Michael Froeschle. Froeschle.
And you don't know if that's like the corner, if that's the adaptation from the fighter. But
that might be his style.
Either way it shakes out. I thought that as the fight went on, he was taking over. He just never really showed any signs of like being able to stop Haag.
Maybe he can't be stopped. He kind of looks like one of them dudes that you just can't put him away. Interesting fight. Yet another fight. Every time we see some of these newer guys, these guys making their debuts that don't look like debuts, I'm like, God, I wish I could see 2 more rounds.
Yeah,
sometimes.
sometimes.
I think in a lot of these fights, 2 more rounds would tell us everything we need to know. Because that fight, I still have questions. I believe Michael Froeschle fought a perfect fight.
For 3 rounds.
For 3 rounds. But, you know, Haag investing in those leg kicks, what happens if he has 2 more rounds of that?
And it's sometimes the psychological factor of like, okay, we've got to be at least halfway through the last round. If I can just stand on this leg for another 2 minutes,
yeah,
I'm good.
Or maybe Haag would have run out of energy because Froeschle never looked gassed. He looked fresh. They should call him Michael Froeschle. He looked fresh the whole time.
He's a good-looking kid for sure.
So fresh and so clean. Excellent fight. Good style versus style kind of matchup.
All right, here we go with your winner by a unanimous decision out of the red corner, Michael Froeschle.
Sam Falgo's just invent a new word.
You
got it right that time.
Unanimous. At the unanimous?
Humananimous.
Human. Hippopotamus.
That's the name of Sam Falgo's sci-fi novel that he's writing. And it's Freudian slipped.
Unanimous.
Great fight there by Froeschle. Taking out a tough guy in Haag.
Haag's like, I'm out of here. Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm leaving.
Looks like he needs to get to the pool hall.
Yeah.
Got some Marlboro Reds to smoke and a denim jacket to go put on. Don't you do it, Sam Falgo. Don't you do it.
What, bother the ring girls?
He's doing it.
Yeah.